Hi, welcome back to Let's Build. Well, Kevin gave me a request actually very recently, talking about a Ferrari F40 in Azzurro Hyperion. Said it looked fantastic. Could I do a crew colour video on it? Of course, I should have smelt a little rat whenever anybody asked me for a crew colour. It never just exists on GTAcolours.com, of course not. That's why they asked me. But anyway, let's see what we can do for Kevin. But before we do that car, this is the car I'm going to build it on, which is also in a unique blue. So this is a Ferrari F40 that was for sale somewhere. There was an article written about it, which I'll link below. And I understand all of the Ferrari's F40s were built in red, but a number of owners have resprayed them interesting colours. This was one of those cars, and what was also quite cool about it from a GTA collection point of view was that the wheels on it were different to the standard wheels, which I have a slight bugbear with, as we'll talk about later. So I thought, well, why don't we talk about how to build this blue one, see if you like that. Then we'll move on to the Azzurro Hyperion one and see if you like that. Now I know the video is going to be quite long, so please make full use of the chapter marks below. Moving into the workshop, this car is fully maxed out because of its position in the Sports Classics class, which is the top or almost the top. We won't talk about that. We'll briefly talk about the build. We'll mainly talk about colours. Moving on to the front bumpers, they're all wrong. So you may as well just take the classic front bumper because, I don't know, I think that's the least wrong bumper. On to the exhaust. Well, they're supposed to be in the centre, so immediately they're wrong. I've taken carbon tipped exhaust, but honestly take whatever suits your fancy. For the hood, we have this NACA style vent here, and there are two on the real car. So vented hood to at least get one of those vents. License plate up to you. I can't access my Ferrari one at the moment. We don't need a sun strip. We want stock skirts, and the GT wing is by far the closest of the available spoilers. On to the wheels then, and the wheels I've picked are a very close match to the ones that are on this car, and they come from the sport category, and they are Feroci RR wheels. I pronounce that in an Italian way, of course. In anthracite black, no tinted windows, so that completes the car apart from paint. Now, for the paint on this car, we have a crew colour, and it's actually a Porsche colour that I took from GTAcolours.com that I thought was relatively close to the rich blue that Ferrari was in. I think comparing with the photos, maybe a bit richer. You could also go with Ultra Blue Classic. This is Ultra Blue, and I don't know, I almost wonder if Ultra Blue is a bit closer than the crew blue and saves a whole load of work. So you choose on that. Moving on down to the trim colour, I want red seats and a lot of black on the interior, and you can't have it. As soon as you pick a trim colour, it starts going all over the dashboard, stuff like that. That will be useful for the next car, but it's not useful for this car. So in fact, I just leave the interior a very dark sort of black colour because I'd rather not have it all the wrong way around. But you might say I'll have a red dash and a lot of other black parts just to put some red in the car, and that would be very understandable. Okay, with that build complete, let's look at changing it to the Azzurro Hyperion one, for which we need standard wheels on the car, and I'm putting the stock wheels on. Stock wheels annoy me because the centre part is that so-called alloy colour the game has. They're not silver like the rest of the wheel, but the style is almost bang on. I've been right through the game. You can get a similar muscle wheel and all chrome, but it's a smaller wheel with a bigger floppier tyre, and it's just not right. So to finish off the car that Kevin asked for in the first place, we need our crew colour, and I've used Azzurro California 2, which I found on GTAcolours.com. You can see here, I think it's going to be quite close. And you can get good and bad surprises from GTAcolours.com, mainly good ones, but in this case not. I can see straight away that is too dark. Now it does need a surf blue pearl, and that's what brings the blue out from the grey, and that's great. We'll pop that on in a second, but I know it's too dark. Anyway, let's look at the interior. The car we're looking at has had all the dash and everything covered in a sort of almost reddy brown suede over the whole thing, and just so happens that bison brown is really close. It's nice to be able to do that, and also the car we're building has very dark blue, almost black seats, so we don't have to worry about those. I'm going to pop on that pearlescent now. And you can see it's helped bring out the blue, but the car just isn't right, it's too dark. But you know, the funny thing is I really like that colour. I've covered in other videos how I would fix this colour issue. I'm not going into great detail here. I had two choices. One was to play with the colour that I already have here in the hex colour tool. The other was to sample the colour, and that's the one I ultimately chose. So I sampled it firstly in Photoshop, but there's online tools I've shown before that do equally as good a job. And then, because of the disparity between Rockstar colours and real colours, I darkened the hex by 20% in the hex color tool and fed that into the crew page with FF at the end to arrive at our final hex. So let's give it a go. Well, here is the moment of truth. What's the new color like? Oh yeah, now that's a lot better, you see. We have got a very, very light blue. Now, I'm not going to argue about slight touches of blue versus grey because every photo I've looked at is fractionally different, but this is exceptionally close. I'm very pleased. We need to take it out into the sun now and have a proper look. Well, the sun is going, but it's looking good. I think it's time to slip into a cinematic. I'm really pleased with this car looking like this. I already liked the blue one, and that's how it was going to next appear whenever I did a Ferrari garage tour. But as soon as Kevin mentioned this and I looked it up, I thought that's the one I've got to have. I just really fell in love. I think the car looks so different in this colour, but yet it looks so good. And I may have mentioned, but there's a video down below that I'm linking where a guy does a walk round of this on the street, looks inside it, and later on hears it start up, watches it drive away. It's well worth a watch, and if you look at the number plate on that video, if you've got spare plates left in the few that Rockstar is now allowing you, then you could actually put that plate on this car, and that's something I may do in the fullness of time when I get my allocation back. If you've got anything you'd like me to build or look at, be it just a colour like this one or a full build, then let me know down below and I will certainly oblige you with that if I possibly can. If you enjoyed, please do hit the thumbs up button and do subscribe if you like real cars in GTA, because that's what this channel is all about. I do hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.